You asked for it and you got it. Challenge Guy is officially back on duty and ready to tackle your most pressing scientific questions. What's it like to wear a diaper for a week straight? Can romance survive a diaper change? We turned to your favorite lab rat for the answer to this and more. Challenge start. Well, after a 2-year hiatus, we're back at it again. The challenge series is officially on, and this time we're taking your submissions apparently. First challenge the show sent me came straight from fans' suggestions. So thanks to multiple people who sent emails and commented, saying they wanted to see what it was like to spend a week as an adult in a diaper. Some of you might be new here. Let me introduce myself. I am the Challenge Guy. I'm the guy that went homeless for 3 days, ran into Bigfoot in Oregon, and had to survive in the desert alone for a weekend. All in the name of sweet, sweet YouTube views. But let's get straight into it because there's a lot to cover. In many ways, this was an easier reintroduction than I expected, but wearing a diaper for a week has its own complicated challenges. If you're new, I journal my experiences, and then we animate them to match the style of the show. But if you want some live-action challenges, check out the Bigfoot and Waverly Hills episodes. Day 1. So, first things first, picking a diaper. Luckily, the show left it up to me, so I went to my local CVS and browsed their adult diaper section. They say that you start off in Pampers and end up back in them at the end of life, and judging by all the old people on the packaging, they might be right. Honestly, I expected the worst, but it turns out that a lot of care has gone into making adult diapers as invisible as possible. That in no way means they are in fact invisible, as I'd soon learn. But I will say this, I picked a brand that I won't mention here until they pay us for basically a free commercial, and it was pretty comfortable. Like a snug pair of oversized underwear. The material was also kind of like cloth on the outside and very soft on the inside. Listen, as far as things go, my Robert Downey Jr. has been in more uncomfortable places. I tried one on when I got home, and the girlfriend immediately got a very serious look on her face. She asked if I actually had to use the diaper, and I reminded her that that was probably the whole point. That's when she said that if I wanted her to remain sexually attracted to me, I could never do that around her. Also, I was changing myself. Infographics couldn't pay her enough to do a diaper change on her fiancé. Oh yeah, I forgot. We're engaged. So other than that, the day was smooth sailing. There were no big plans, but it was a workout day, so I did have to go to the gym. That would be problematic. Now, if you're used to wearing baggy pants, people probably would never notice a diaper, but workout gear tends to be pretty snug, and my sweats are no different. As old fans know, I am a fan of going commando. Why pay extra money for secret clothes nobody's gonna see? Sounds like a scam to me. That means that sometimes my sweats are tight enough that from the front, you get to see everything. But not this time, because this time, there was no hiding the fact that I was absolutely wearing a diaper under my sweatpants. Now, modern adult diapers are pretty form-fitting, not big and puffy like baby diapers, but modern science can only do so much when you're meant to be pooping and peeing into what you're wearing. So I immediately got double takes when I walked in the doors. Luckily, I had chosen early afternoon when most people were still working, so there were only a few people there. The staff all know me, and to her credit, one of the girls not only knows me, but knows I work for the show. She took one look at my slightly puffy crotch and said, "Oh my god, are you doing it again? New challenges?" I was not as excited. Got way less looks when using the machines, but when it was time for squats, there was no hiding it. Especially because the back of my diaper rode up out of my sweats. Like any other gym, mine is surrounded by glass, so you can marvel at your own physique. But this time, the gym was marveling at the guy with the adult diaper fetish. I will say this, though, nobody bothered me on the machines at all. Normally, you get people coming up asking how many sets you got left, etc., but this time, I had any machine I wanted completely to myself. It was almost worth it. Too bad I was debating ever stepping foot in that gym again by the time it was over. The part that everyone is waiting for was coming up after drinking all that water at the gym. So, how does it feel to pee into a diaper as an adult? You know what? It was weird and strange and kind of convenient. The urge to pee hit me on the drive home, and I just sorta went right there in traffic. No holding it in, no trying to fish up a bottle to pee into. Just let it flow while the soccer mom next to you tries to deal with the 4 screaming preteens that are late for practice. The world is your toilet when you're wearing a diaper. Day 2 would be far more complicated. I didn't get the urge to go number 2 until the second day, and luckily it was while the girlfriend was on set filming something. I honestly don't think I could do this with her around, but it was just me and the dog, and suddenly the urge hit right as I was playing some Space Marine 2. My instinct was to go for the toilet, but then I remembered. I have to get the full experience, So, I just sort of did it. Against every natural urge possible. It sounds easy, right? You just push out a turd, no big deal. People do it every day. But when you're an adult, your brain knows that what you're doing is wrong. It fights you very hard on this decision. And then there's the logistics of it. First, I don't recommend staying seated. That was a rookie mistake. And I know there's adult diaper fetishists out there, and maybe I should have consulted them, but remaining seated was not only difficult, it was kind of a disaster. I want you to imagine that you're going out for ice cream, and you get a cone with 2 scoops of chocolate fudge. Then you take that cone and you smash it upside down onto the counter. Now you're getting it. I had been prepared with baby wipes, but, well, I ended up needing to take a shower instead. Day 4 was a near disaster. This was a big day for the girlfriend and I. We were going to a fancy event, a charity fundraiser. Some producers we both know had invited us, and it was a semi-formal event, which inevitably means people will dress up. Now, the girlfriend is fond of telling me that one of the reasons she instantly found me attractive was because I always knew how to dress. Sidebar real quick, guys, level up your wardrobe and see how women begin to treat you. This isn't bragging, more of an observation of how poorly men dress, but I tend to be the best dressed around wherever I go. The problem is I tend to wear a lot of fitted slacks or chinos or well-fitting jeans. You won't find anything baggy in my closet except maybe my linen pants, which, sidebar again guys, don't sleep on linen. It is a great mature look that's very stylish. But linen wouldn't do for this event. I had to dress well, and that was a problem with my mandatory underwear because as sleek as they make adult diapers, they don't make them that sleek. So I managed to stuff myself into the largest slacks I own, which honestly is not very large at all. To draw attention away from my slightly puffy crotch and butt, I wore a nice blazer up top, and the girlfriend wore a low-cut V-shaped dress, like very low-cut. Like low enough cut that I doubt anyone was paying attention to the fact that my entire waist area looked like it was having an allergic reaction to several dozen bee stings. It was psychological warfare at its finest, the girlfriend distracting people with her impressive cannons while my diapered crotch slipped by unnoticed. The evening went quite well actually, until it hit me. A rumbly in my tummy. I was baking a keister casserole and it was almost done. I needed to stock a nearby lake with brown trout. The kids needed to hit the pool. As I stood clear across the room from the girlfriend fetching myself a mojito from the open bar, I started growing a brown tail. It was a matter of utmost urgency. My digestive tract had betrayed me, and the sphincter was in on it. There was no time to get away to privacy. It was all my fault. I had trained my body to just do its thing because of the diaper and the various pees I'd already taken, and now I had reverted back to pre-toilet training infancy. There was no stopping the snapping turtle making its way out of the burrow. So it happened right there, about 20 feet from the bar with me standing perfectly still. And because I was standing perfectly still, it was apparently an invitation for someone to come make conversation. Nothing is more awkward than when you're in a public bathroom using the stall and someone tries to start up a conversation. Except when you are literally pooping your pants and a grown man is trying to make small talk. I don't think I was straining visibly, and thank God the lighting was already low. I tried to give a brief, curt answer, and I think the guy could tell something was up. But that's when I remembered the miracle in my pocket, my cell phone. I ripped that bad boy out and pretended to take an extremely important call, a work emergency that required me to leave this noisy bar and find a quiet corner to speak in. So I ducked away and headed towards the bathrooms. Thankfully, because I dropped a growler standing up, there was little if any mess. And let me tell you, I don't think you ever forget pooping yourself in front of another grown man as an adult. I'll remember this on my deathbed. I kept that incident a secret from the girlfriend, mostly because I really didn't want her to lose any sexual attraction to me. I worked too hard to keep this part of the challenge as hidden as possible, and she did not ask. For the next 3 days, though, diapers would prove a boon rather than a liability. I was headed out to the wilderness. See, in the last 2 years since you've seen me taking on challenges, I kinda took up a bit of a hobby. After my run-in with a bona fide Sasquatch in Oregon during my Bigfoot hunting challenge, I got bit by the Bigfoot bug. I became fascinated and I had to see one for myself again. I found a group here in SoCal with a research site set up in the mountains that I'm not allowed to share with you. I'm also not really allowed to go into details, but let me tell you, we have seen, found, and experienced some incredible and often very terrifying things. You don't soon forget an 800-pound animal screaming at you from across the creek, so loud you can literally feel it in your bones. But I'm a man of honor, which meant that my hobbies would not stand in the way of my duty to you. So, the diapers came with me and I wore them through the whole trip. And let me tell you, they turned out to be kind of a help rather than a hindrance. No need to go find a secluded spot to pee, just go right then and there. I'd learned my lesson with number 2s though, and not only were they performed standing up, they were immediately buried. But I had one running thought throughout the whole thing. What if a Bigfoot or a bear kills me and the rescue crew finds my body with a loaded diaper? Because, you know, when you die, you release your bowels. I did not want my obituary to read, "Head ripped off by angry Bigfoot was found with diaper full of poop." Honestly, I'm glad to be doing challenges again. Life was kind of boring, and I was becoming an entirely too respectable member of my community. But if you're thinking of picking up a diaper fetish, I've got 2 words of advice for you. First, buy lots of baby wipes and powder, otherwise you get a rash. Yes, I am speaking from experience. And second, always poop standing up, always. Otherwise, it is Smash City down there. Now go check out Surviving in the Forest 72 Hours Alone, or click this other video instead.